Thanks. Great to be here. Nice to be out of the piñata and actually have time to do this stuff. And I was asked to speak about a few topics, but I'd much rather do Q&A at the end. So I'll race through the obligatory topics and give you a few perspectives on motivating teams and selecting and grooming leaders and how to do succession planning, at least how it happened at Sun. In terms of motivating teams, that is one area I think we did pretty well at over the last 20-some years. And early days, it was a little more aggressive and less worldly, if you will. We basically picked out an enemy and went after the enemy. And we motivated the team, got them focused, because when we started, it was IBM, DEC, and HP. They were the bad guys. And we made sure that everybody internally at the Friday beer bus and all the internal communication, they were the bad guys. It was have lunch or be lunch. And it was pretty motivating. And people got excited. And we drew a very aggressive set of folks that wanted to go out and do something different, do something. I did name my first kid Maverick, and so that kind of set the tone, and that was very motivating to have that enemy, and it gave us all a commonality of purpose. And I would encourage every startup, go ahead and pick an enemy. It's okay. It's a little negative, but it works. There was something a little more positive, and that was money, and that's motivating. And to assume that employees are not coin operated is missing the big boat. Now, you're all thinking I came here to hear that. Well, sometimes I think with all the education that we get that we forget that people work for money and that's an important issue. Some people aren't working for money necessarily, but it is the scorecard of how you're doing and whether you're adding value. So we had a goal to make sure that our employees shared in the success of our company. So we had very leveraged comp plans, low bases. When we started out the company, everybody was making $2,000 a month, everybody. And we gave out huge portions of the company in stock. We diluted the stock big time and gave it to employees and got them highly aligned with our shareholders. What a wrong thing to go do. And in fact, right up until Congress decided that employee ownership of companies is a bad thing for this country, we were giving out 95% of our stock options to below the VP level. So we were allowing everybody in the organization to share in the success and get highly aligned. We can't do that anymore because Congress doesn't think that's a good thing. I suppose they're going to go after home ownership next as a dumb thing. But I digress. So you can see how I voted on the whole stock option thing. A third thing we did to motivate teams was maybe more on the negative side. We asked the prima donnas to leave. And that is something that took me a while to learn, because prima donnas tend to be smart, highly motivated, quite insecure, which is what drives their motivation. But they have a hard time channeling their insecurity onto the positive side of the force, and it shows up in negativity, and the wake of destruction of those folks just far outweighs any value that they can add, and it blows up a team big time. And after about 2 or 3 years of being CEO, I finally just stepped into the prima donnas, and I learned a long time ago that it's okay when somebody leaves the company. It really is, even a bright and talented person, if they're a prima donna. So I really got over the prima donna thing a long time ago, but that was probably one of the best things that I learned early on in my leadership career in terms of helping people out. And so if you're a would-be or an aspiring or a current leader, get rid of the prima donnas early. You'll feel so much better the next morning.